All right, let's talk about using the gas laws to figure out what gases are doing. So the first one is called Boyles' law, and it's pressure 1 times volume 1 equals pressure 2 times volume 2. And that's the equation you use when the number of moles and the temperature stays the same. So it's like if you had a syringe and you compressed it and you expanded it. The air particles, the number of moles doesn't change, and the temperature, if you go slow enough, doesn't change. That's a pretty good estimate. So this is a before and after equation. With this kind of equation, they give you a first volume of 10 milliliters and first pressure of 1 atmosphere of pressure. You press the syringe to 5 milliliters. What is the new pressure? So they give you a starting volume, starting pressure, and they're giving you a final volume, and they're asking you for the final pressure. The equation you use is P1 V1 equals P2 V2. This is the starting pressure and volume. This is the final pressure and volume, before and after. You put in the numbers with their units. 1 atmosphere of gas times 10 milliliters equals P2 times 5 milliliters. To solve for P2, you just do some algebra magic. You bring the 5 under here. Notice how the milliliters over milliliters cancel, and you end up with the units of atmospheres. And your answer is 2 milliliters. And that makes sense, right? So actually, the pressure is not 2 milliliters, it's 2 atmospheres. See, the units are wrong. I gotta write that out. I'll change that later. Good eye out there. At any rate, you see why units are important. They help you make sure you get the right answer every single time. I don't have my pen, so I'll do that later. The next question is, what volume do you need to expand the syringe to get a pressure to be 0.5 atmospheres? Well, you know that if you compress it, the pressure increases, so you're gonna have to increase the volume because there's less collisions to get it to a pressure of 0.5 atmospheres. So the question is, they gave you volume 2, and they're asking you for P2. So you set up your equation. You can still use your original P1 and V1, 1.0 atmospheres times 10 milliliters, and P2 and V2. Solve for V2, same way, math magic. Notice how the atmospheres cancel, and you end up with milliliters. So volume 2 is 20 milliliters. And that kind of makes sense, because you double the volume and the pressure goes down in half. Let's do another one. Let's do Charles's law. V1 T1 equals V2 T2. Actually, what I'll do is I'll save that for the next podcast or video cast. Tune in next episode.